Welcome to Garden Theory. Today we're going to be talking about crystal bridges in this video. But first I'm going to do a little introduction into what is garden theory. So my name's Zachary. I'm creating this channel today. There's a total of 5 videos going out. And so the purpose of this channel is to inform people and teach people about horticulture, gardening practices, plants, native landscape restoration, landscape design and architecture, and really just kind of do a deep dive into everything related to horticulture and gardening, which is why I named the channel Garden Theories, because there's so many different topics that we're going to cover on this channel. So if any of those sounds interesting to you, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Hopefully over time the videos will get better as I develop more video editing skills. But for the meantime, I hope y'all enjoyed this video about crystal bridges. It's one of my favorite places to go to, especially when we're talking about designing landscape designs with native plants. So if you ever want to learn more about how to use native plants in landscape design, this is a great place I would definitely recommend visiting. With that, further ado, we're gonna continue watching the video. Thank you.
Hi everyone. Today I'm going to talk about Crystal Bridges in this video. Crystal Bridges is an art museum designed by Moshe Softy, an Italian architect. If you never heard of Crystal Bridges before, it's an art museum, but a big part of its mission is also related to nature. So many people go there for the art, but especially here in Northwest Arkansas, a lot of local people go there for their over 100 acres of trails and grounds. So I just want to go over Crystal Bridges today about some of the things I really like about it, as well as some of the reasons why you should definitely visit Crystal Bridges in your near future. This is a video just on my thoughts and reflections on it. I really love the nature at Crystal Bridges. That's probably one of the biggest draws to it for me. Throughout the whole year, there's always something new to look at. So whether it's in the early spring when the hellebores or Layton roses start to bloom, or the witch hazels in late fall start to bloom, which are one of my favorite fragrant flowers. Another one of my favorite flowers are the Virginia bluebells, which will bloom around this time in March. There are always so many amazing things to see at Crystal Bridges, and it's a great place for a beginner to learn about native plants and how native plants can be used in landscape design. A good portion of the framework for the landscape design and architecture at Crystal Bridges is based off of native plants and natural forms. They do have non-natives and ornamental varieties of plants, but the vast majority of the perennials and shrubs that they have are native plants. One of the most common ones you'll see on the grounds is oak leaf hydrangeas, and that one's a really popular one because they're very deer resistant, which is one of the main limiting factors at Crystal Bridges due to the overwhelming deer population there. They pretty much eat anything to the ground that isn't deer resistant. So oak leaf hydrangeas that they have are very beautiful. A lot of their oak leaf hydrangeas are now very mature, some of them even over 12 feet tall. You'll definitely know them when you see them. The oak leaf hydrangeas in the spring to early summer have these really beautiful white flowers, and later on into the summer and into the fall, they turn more pink into this rusty brown color. And even in the winter, I like to leave oak leaf hydrangea flowers on because they look really beautiful as winter interest in your garden. And so that's one of the big reasons why I love Crystal Bridges is because of all the wonderful native plants that you can learn from. There's a lot of wildlife, insect and bird species that use Crystal Bridges as their haven. So there's always something to look at and listen to while you're walking the grounds. Crystal Bridges gets its namesake from a natural native spring that runs down into their ponds, into their pond system. And so everything is spring water all the way down to the ponds that Crystal Bridges is built around. And so there's a lot of cool local history on the land where Crystal Bridges is built. And originally, a lot of that land was owned by Neil Compton, who was a big part of saving the Buffalo River. And if you don't know his story, I definitely recommend researching into him. We're not going to talk about that in this video, but that's one piece of local history there. And also, Neil Compton had a nursery here on the side of Crystal Bridges in the 70s. And some of the azaleas that Neil Compton planted himself are still there. There's currently two of them that I know of. Both of them are kind of off a little bit off of the tulip tree trail. So they're a little hidden, but they're beautiful azaleas and rhododendrons that bloom every spring that you can spot. So it's another cool piece of history. But there's also a lot of other great native plants you can see at Crystal Bridges. They have a lot of asters and goldenrods that bloom in the fall, as well as black-eyed Susans. Golden ragwort, along with Virginia bluebells, are some great spring bloomers. There's pretty much flowers for almost every season throughout the year, so there's always something new to look at every time you come. And something new that they did this year is they planted over 20,000 bulbs in their grounds for the first time. And so, a few clips in this video, you'll see some snowdrops starting to bloom, which are a really fascinating early spring bloomer. And so, that's something new that they did this year. And they're always doing new projects every year. I really enjoyed my time at Crystal Bridges. It taught me a lot about native plants, which I think is one of the big things here. I also learned a lot about grain maintenance, learning more about how native plants work, which we're going to talk more about native plants in future videos. And so if you're interested in doing more of a deep dive into native plants and how they work, we're going to do more videos in the future. So feel free to hit the subscribe button to be notified of that. To be honest, it's a very beautiful and very naturalistic place in its garden design. It's not a very formal landscape, so if you're someone that likes the more formal designs, it may not be for you. But it's a very naturalistic garden space, and they do lots of events throughout the year, like the North Forest Lights and the Art Trail at night. So they do a lot of fun activities, especially family center activities, which is really fun. So that's a wonderful place to be in. I highly recommend that you go see Crystal Bridges for yourself if you haven't been there before. Not only for its artwork, but for its amazing landscape design and the incredible people that maintain it. So that's it for this video. So if you enjoyed listening to this video about Crystal Bridges, feel free to like and comment down below any ways that I can improve my video editing skills and content and any topics that you would like me to talk about in the future. We're eventually going to do some live streams here on the channel over on Twitch where we're going to do landscape design and talk about different aspects. So I'm hoping to create a really fun community here on YouTube where we can learn more about landscaping, native plants, and how we can be better stewards of the environment. So if those topics sound interesting to you, feel free to subscribe. That way you can be notified of future videos, and I hope to continue to improve the quality of each video going forward. And thank you so much for watching today.